What's up guys, Matt from TeamVLR here, and I've got an updated Blue Eyes deck profile for you guys. I've done Blue Eyes in the past, but I've never really done the uber competitive version, so this is my take on it. I've actually topped the last 3 locals I've been to using this deck, and honestly, super fun to play. Has a pretty good matchup against ABCs. I actually played them twice in the last tourney I went to, which was for the Invasion Vengeance sneak peek. And honestly, really good deck, so let's just get right into it. So first off, 3 Blue Eyes, very self-explanatory. 3 alternatives, again, very self-explanatory. 2 Dragon Spirit of White to banish your opponent's back row, and honestly the tributing effect to dodge is very useful. I've been using that a lot lately, so it's a really good card. I highly recommend running it at 2 and not 1 as some people do. I think 2 is really good. Triple Sage to search your Veiler or either any of your Dragon Tuners for cards of consonants, or even just a tribute a monster to get Blue Eyes on the field. It's honestly a really good card. Definitely run this at 3. Triple Whitestone Ancients to special Blue Eyes from your deck, or to banish this and recycle Blue Eyes into your hand or extra deck. 1 the Whitestone Legend to grab Blue Eyes from your deck if you need it. Honestly, as a 1-0, this is a good card. Then double Effect Veiler, because this card put in a lot of work for me at the last locals, especially against ABCs. Very useful. Use it on their gadgets, then they pretty much have to end their turn because they can't really do anything else, or use it on their Galaxy Soldiers. Again, they can't really do anything after that. So honestly, use this as a 2 of. Could do it as a 3 of, but I wouldn't recommend anything less than 2. And then the new card that's in my deck, Triple Gameciel. Very useful against ABC. Tribute their Dragon Buster, tribute their Infinity. Use it against Blue Eyes or PKs. Honestly, it's really good. Gets over anything. Even if you have 2 in your hand, you can special 1 to their side, special 1 to your side, and maybe summon alternative to your side of the field and go into rank 8s. It's a really good card. I highly recommend you guys run this for the upcoming meta in either your main or your side. And then 2 Maxi, because we love drawing cards and we don't want our opponent to special summon. And triple Return of the Dragon Lords to kick off spells. Basically just monster reborn for dragons, and it protects them. Triple Melody is an ultra rare thanks to the legendary decks. Just a searcher for Blue Eyes and alternative. Triple Trade-in, because we love drawing cards. 1 Dragon Shrine. I actually ran this as a 2 of in the tourney. I've actually recently bumped this down to 1 based on more testing. You could run it as a 2 of, but running this as a 1 of lets me run 2 cards of consonants, as I also took out Solemn Warning. You do need this card in the deck, I feel, but as a 2 of, it's not necessary. I think just 1 is good, but 2 of isn't going to kill you either. Double Twin Twister as you get rid of back row. 1 Soul Charge, because this card is kind of broken. 2 cards of consonants, because we love drawing cards. And then for traps, you're just running 3. 2 Strikes and a Vanities, because we don't want our opponent to special summon. So on to the extra deck. 1 Twin Burst. Not really going to this card that often. This is more for the grind game, but it's a bit easier to get out then, and it has its uses to get over certain monsters, but this is kind of more of I like having this in my extra deck just in case kind of thing. And then for your Galaxy Eyes lineup, so you've got Cypher, Full Armor, and Dark Matter. Cypher is insane in the PA Fire or BA matchup, or even against an Xyz player. As long as if they can't do anything to Cypher Dragon, all you can do is take their Xyz monster and overlay on top of it, which is just amazing because they're never going to get it back. Full Armor is very useful for popping face-up cards, and Dark Matter basically gets your entire engine going, sends your dragons to the grave. You probably want to go into it first if you're not going for a synchro play. One Dragulon for the mirror match. One Hope Harbinger because you don't want your opponent using spells. One Lancelot has its uses. You can tag your opponent directly. Pop. What is it? Pop a monster. And yeah. And it also is very useful for negating if you're trying to lock your opponent down. One Felgrand because you either want to negate the effects of something on the field or you want to protect something like one of your bigger monsters. So very, very useful there. And then, oh, didn't really organize this that well. 2 Blue-Eye Spirit Dragon. Very, very useful in so many ways. Honestly, I'm using this more often than I used to. 1, it's great against Pendulums. 2, it's great against ABCs because they can't tribute their Dragon Buster to summon their some Union monsters back to the field, because neither player can summon 2 or more monsters at a time, and that will constitute summoning 3. So that is very useful. It's also useful for negating graveyard effects and tributing itself to summon a light dragon type synchro monster. Honestly, this card is so good. And then, so one of your targets is Michael. You can use him to banish things. And then your other 2 targets, Black Rose and Ancient Fairy Dragon. Black Rose, useful. I honestly use this a lot when my opponent summons when they're big boss monsters. I tribute Spirit, summon Black Rose, bounce it back. Ancient Fairy Dragon, useful for getting Crystal Wing out if you're not going to attack that turn. So maybe it's your first turn play. Or even just popping a field card spell off the field, gaining life points for it. So it has its uses. And then the last 2, 1 Azure Eyes Silver Dragon, the classic Blue Eye Synchro, protects your dragons and revives normal ones from the grave, so very, very good. And the last extra deck card is Crystal Wing, because Crystal Wing is amazing and it's not that hard to get out in this deck. So on to the side deck. Double Ghost Ogre. This card put in a lot of work for me during the tourney. It's very useful for disrupting plays. Use this in combination with Effect Veiler. You don't really have to take out Effect Veiler to use Ghost Ogre, so really, really good card. Highly recommend using it. And then the extra Twin Twister. 1 Regeki. I don't main it because I hate it when I get Regeki'd. So I just put it on the side for anyone who uses Regeki against me. 1 Soul Drain. This card is very useful against BAs and PK Fire, Yang Zings. Anything that where a card in the graveyard is going to start a play, this thing will just completely mess it up. Even if a card is going to start a play in the banish zone, this thing is really, really good for that. And then triple Shadow Imprisoning Mirror, because we're running all light, so we don't want anyone using a dark deck to do anything. Then this one is a bit of a tech of mine, so triple Forbidden Graveyard. So what this does is basically You discard a card from your hand, and for the rest of that turn, any effects that activate in your opponent's graveyard are negated. So again, useful against Blue Eyes, useful against PKs, useful against Yang Zings. Anything where the graveyard is essential to that deck, this card will mess it up. And your opponent basically would have to either end their turn, or what they're going to be able to do is severely limited. 2 Cosmic Cyclone because, well, this is more of a just in case thing. I used it in the last meta, especially against Cosmos, to get rid of Cosmotown. There isn't really a prevalent floating spell or trap. Maybe you can use it against metal foes, but I don't know. Maybe you guys can leave a comment below listing any meta cards that I, for some reason, am completely blanking out on right now that you can use Cosmic Cyclone against. And the last card is System Down because we don't like ABCs, we don't like machines, so we just want to get rid of them. So guys, that was my Blue Eyes deck profile. What did you guys think? Any comments or suggestions? Maybe there are things I can bump up or down. Let me know what you think. And this is Matt from TeamVLR signing out.